I think this was $1,500, 70 hours a week, like $7,000 to $8,000 months. It's an amazing feeling to be your own boss. Hey guys, I'm Jeffrey with J Squeaky Clean Auto Detailing. I started my business about 2 years ago and it's been going really good. I've been a car fanatic for years. I just love cars. I wanted to get into it because I already had all the supplies and I really like taking care of my car. So I wanted to kind of give that passion out to others and it just took off.
And how did you learn about this and what got you into it in that way?
I got into it because of I looked at what car washes did to my car and I was like, I just don't, I spent so much money on it and I was like, I really want to keep it as long as I can. I'm really big into sustainability. So that's kind of a big piece of this is that we use more natural products, natural processes, and we want to kind of repair and protect your car as long as we can. So that's a big deal for me. So I would say main purpose of this business is to be sustainable and then kind of continue people's cars as long as possible.
And what chose you to go into mobile detailing versus having your own shop?
Well, I definitely go back and forth on the whole shop idea. I think the mobile just gives such a convenience to people. It's definitely less overhead as well. So I think cost is a big factor. This is my only expense is just insurance, maintaining fuel, and then also product. So it's minimal compared to a shop that you owe rent on and you owe utilities and all that. So cost is a big factor. So right now, just getting everything set up, taking the mats out. We'll be doing another set of photos that get all the carpet and all the trim. We're gonna move on to, after we do all the photos, is start knocking everything down. So starting from the headliner, wiping it down to the dash, and then to the console and the doors to make sure all the debris is off of it so we can start vacuuming and working on the carpets.
What usually takes the longest to clean?
I would say the carpets. Yeah, that's always the pain. Just because people, they have built up debris or sand or and just kind of messy.
Right.
But I would say that takes the longest out of everything.
What's one of the longest projects that you've worked on?
So I had this guy, it was when I first started, he reached out to me. We did a 4Runner like yours, and he had it for 11 years, never detailed it. Went off-roading with it, went camping in it. I swear the amount of built up dirt and grime in there was insane. But he was super appreciative and gave us an awesome tip, as well as he increased the price because he's I just feel so bad. But it was worth it. We learned. And after that, we always ask for photos, and sometimes we don't get the photos, but we try. And we just got better after that. Got better tools to help with the processes. I got a crew member. Today he's not working with me because it's just one detail, but it's nice. Then I don't feel like I'm breaking my back like this. This stuff right here, that's gonna take a minute because it's all built up dirt and salt. That's that Michigan weather for us. Just does it.
So what is this for, the water here?
So this is a steamer. So you always wanna use distilled water in it. Why? Because it's going at almost close to 200 degrees. So it's boiling in there, creating that steam. If we go too hot with regular water, those minerals that are in our normal water or hard water crystallize. So you get kind of crummy or buildup in there, and then it'll stop working. So we always have to use distilled water when detailing, even distilled water or filtered water when you're pressure washing a car too, just to eliminate any water spots or buildup of hard water. So that's that minerals. So, yep, just always got to refill this bad boy. Steam is one of the best things to use when cleaning. It kills 99% of all bacteria. So majority of the time we use steam for almost everything. So we don't have to use harsh chemicals when we're using on people's cars because everyone's in them. I mean, you're touching every surface in your car. Why would you want to be taking on some chemicals inside? So it's the little things like that that we think about.
What's the steamer there? Is that a known brand? Is that?
This is McCullen It's a pretty known brand. I would say it's like your mid-grade. There's definitely steamers that go all the way up to like 2 Gs. So it's just, we're not there yet. We don't need that. This is great. Has a great warranty, has a great steaming ability, great attachments. It heats up really quick. And the other thing is when you're steaming, you're using so much water. So you go through less because it's such a big tank. Or you don't have to refill as much, I guess.
How much did the steamer cost?
This guy, it's like $170 to $200, just depending on the size you get. But it's well worth it. Heats up within like 15 minutes and makes my job so much easier. Now we just jump into it. So I'm gonna plug in everything and then start working on the doors. We're also gonna be doing these door jams, just because this stuff usually rusts first, because it's so much built up dirt and everyone forgets about it. So you really want to make sure this is clean, because if this is clean, then the water that's on your roof, say you have a sunroof like this guy, you want to make sure all this is cleaned up so all the water doesn't stay and sit and then start to leak in and rust. And then it'll leak into your car, actually, if you have a sunroof. So this is always going to be cleaned when we're doing an interior or an exterior, just to improve the quality of the car.
Are the cars usually like slightly clean?
It just depends on the person. There's definitely some people that are like, oh my gosh, I gotta clean it before you come. And I'm like, no, that's not what you do. And then I got people that are like, yep, it's in the back. And then I go there, I'm like, oh my gosh, what did you do to your car? This is like pretty average. I mean, it's just like buildup of dirt, grime. Like people live in their cars in a sense. Like you're always on the go, taking people around, eating in the car. It happens. So my favorite part is like getting to see what it looks like afterward, and then also telling the customer like, come check it out. And then they're like starstruck because they're like, oh my God, I never knew it could be like this again. So that's the best part. So this spray right here is an interior cleaner by P&S. It's highly diluted, so it's like minimal chemical reaction. So you don't need much to do it. So I always spray on the brush and we get started. So just kind of lifting all that debris, agitating all that dirt that's built in. A lot of people don't realize like, oh, my car's clean. No, you sit in your car every day. So your skin has oil, it's gonna transfer to it, but we're taking all that off. Like that's all dirt. So
looking at like expenses, what are some of the main expenses that you have to deal with?
I would say main expenses are gonna be your cost of driving everywhere. So like I go all the way out to like Kalamazoo, and we're actually gonna be going to Traverse City. Like we drive quite a bit. So I would say that is one of our biggest expense. Insurance, pretty minimal for a limited liability. So that's not a big expense, and that's biannually. I would say the next expense are gonna be your chemicals and tools. So like I'm using my equipment a lot harder and more often than the average Joe. So we have to buy higher quality stuff. And when that higher quality stuff breaks or needs repair, it kind of sets us back a little bit. But I've gotten better of just having that kind of put aside, that maintenance cost. Like next week, that's getting all serviced, meaning oil change, brakes. We're gonna be getting transmission fluid change, spark plugs changed. So I would say the car of being immobile is like the most expensive piece, but again, it's a fraction of what it would be to own a shop. So I'm very fortunate to have the mobile service be so popular. It makes people want it. They like that convenience. They like that they don't have to go drop their car off for 6 hours. They can just have me come to their driveway, or they can leave it at their house and then they don't have to go pick it up. It's just there. I love it. And so do they, which is awesome. Makes my business grow even more.
How long is a typical interior job?
This one will probably take 2 to 3 hours. Probably a little bit longer since we're talking, but average 2 to 3 hours. If it's longer, it's because of like severe buildup. And if it takes longer, also we get some weather complications once in a while. So like rain slows us down, or if it's like super hot, I gotta be like aware of like the equipment getting too hot so I don't ruin it. Another thing that made me get a generator is that I blow people's fuses. So we're running equipment a lot harder than everyone typically does on their power. So it sometimes blows fuses and we always have to reset it. So I got a generator just to eliminate that issue. So interior 2 to 3, and then exterior plus interior, you're looking at almost 5 to 6. Just takes a lot longer because we're doing the exterior, which can be a tedious process as well, of like getting all that built up grime and all the crevices cleaned up.
How much does the interior usually cost?
It ranges. So this guy, it's a SUV technically. So we're doing $225, plus he's getting an enhancement package. So we're gonna bring that up to like $260 something to coat everything with a leather protectant and make sure that it's as clean as possible. But average, you're looking at $175 all the way up to $350. We do more SUVs, I would say. So we're usually at like the 2 something per car when we do them.
You said that you go to like Kalamazoo and Traverse City, which are both 2 hours and an hour away, somewhere in that range. Why aren't you just sticking with Grand Rapids, or why aren't you sticking with the local area? What is causing that?
Well, when you have a shop, like people drive to you, so why not be more convenient to the customer? And if they're willing to pay and want your quality service, which it seems people do, we drive to them. And that's the perk of like having the mobile, is that we don't hesitate when someone says, hey, I live in Traverse City. Okay, we'll drive to you. See you in a couple hours.
And how do you think they're finding you?
Social media. Facebook's been a really good pusher for us. We're trying to grow our social clout, I guess, on Instagram, and just doing like informative things. Pictures have been really good for us. I've had a lot of videographers help me, so that's been really good. Trying to influence people to go to our website since we started our online scheduler, and it actually has eliminated a lot of my work. So it's really good. Work meaning that I don't have to message everybody back and forth. They get to pick when I come to them, and they know what the cost is gonna be, and all I gotta do is just show up, and it works a lot better. So trying to influence people to use the online scheduler more often. So hoping more content and kind of like pushing people to click the link will get them to do that more often than call me. So I don't mind people talking to me. It gets to be a lot when I do this part-time, you know?
So can you talk about your schedule and what that would look like, part-time versus full-time?
So I work my full-time job as an optician Monday through Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, I do detailing. I do other detail jobs during the week, like weeknights, but majority of it is Friday and Saturday. I like the part-time because it gives me that flexibility to kind of enjoy life, make some extra cash. We are growing very fast, so it looks like we should be full-time. Like I'm booked all the way into May, so I'm booking into June right now. So it's kind of chaotic at times. So I'm hoping to hire more people in the near future. We actually are going to be expanding it in Traverse City. We have another mobile rig going to be launched soon. So that's super exciting. And then that'll take a lot more off of me again, so I don't have to be the guy that goes to Traverse City. It's just already there. And other areas like Glen Arbor and different cities up there. It's turning into a full-time thing, even if I'm not ready for it. That's kind of how I'm looking at it.
Would you ever go full-time with it during the week, or you plan on sticking with the weekends and maybe doing the other services full-time or other locations?
I think it has the potential to do it full-time. I don't know if I will physically do it full-time, meaning like me do all the work. I can't. It's hard on your body. Like I'm 6'4", and like getting into these tight crevices can be taxing, or like bending over all day can be hard. So I know my body can't do it full time, but I think it has truly the potential to be full time in the next 6 months to a year. Like it really does. And I would love that. So keep booking cars.
How did you learn about like all the equipment? Did you do research online? Did you have a friend do it, or how did you learn?
A little bit of both. Like I loved taking care of my own car. I was always like meticulous about my car and keeping it pristine. I got into it, I had all the equipment, and then it was really slow, and I kind of knew the processes a little bit. So I was fortunate my fiance worked with a lot of people at her previous job, and one of them owned a detailing business in Holland. So he owns New Look. His name's Josue Prado. Awesome detail shop in Holland. Very cool guy, down to earth, super nice, would help anybody, anytime. So if there's anybody out there, like definitely go out to Josue if you want to learn how to detail, or even if you want some detailing in Holland. He taught me almost everything I know and showed me different products that he uses. And that's the thing with detailers, is like everyone uses different stuff. Like some people are like diehards for certain brands and certain processes or certain brushes or cloths. And it's interesting because they give you like educated answers. They're not like, well, I just like it because I like it. Like they give you the facts behind it, the research behind it. So you learn in that way too. And if it fits in your budget, then it's something to try. Everyone's got their own line of products that they love to use and works for their kind of cars that they detail. I go off as little chemicals as possible. That is really my go-to. I don't want to have anything deteriorate the car, first of all, but also have it affect people, like, or myself. I mean, I'm the one doing all the cleaning. I don't want it to hurt my skin or hurt my eyes or like bleach my clothes or anything like that. So I'm very into keeping it as natural as possible.
So you do both interior and exterior. Why do you do both, and why not just do one?
I like giving as much service as possible to people. And we also offer more than just like interior and exterior. We offer paint correction and we offer ceramic coatings too. So it's that convenience piece again, that it's not harder for me to add services because it's all in the same industry. It just helps. So people are more willing to stay with you when you can do everything. So that's kind of my philosophy, is that it's a one-stop shop.
What percentage are you doing interior versus exterior?
I would say since we're getting to like the spring and summer, it'll probably be more full details. So you'll be at like, it's probably 50-50 in the summer. When it comes to like the winter, like we went all winter last year, which was crazy. We went from October to February. So that was really cool. And we did all interiors, and yeah, it was cold some days, but we could do it. So we did 90%, no, 100% all interiors in the winter, which is unheard of because typically shops shut down or mobile shuts down in the winter. I was very fortunate and happy to continue growing, and that only benefited us because people kept remembering. They're like, whoa, they saw more of our content. They're like, oh my gosh, like I gotta get my car detailed. When other shops, if they put the stop at September, October, you wouldn't even remember that shop the next year. You would probably just be like, look up detailing. So I'm very happy that we could keep going.
Do they both take about the same time to do?
No, I guess it depends on like what you're doing with an exterior. If you're just doing like a basic wash, so you're doing the wheels, the wheel wells, the engine bay, and the exterior paint, probably hour to an hour and a half. When you do an interior, I have to deal with vents. I have to deal with carpets. I'm dealing with different surfaces. Exterior, the biggest piece of it is the paint. So we just have to ensure that we're pre-washing it so we don't scratch it, foam it so it's less abrasive and more lubricated when we're going over with the contact wash, and then we just spray it down and then dry it. So it's a lot easier to do an exterior, and people actually prefer them because it's like more fun, more like satisfactory. But I think the interiors are actually the better one because you get to see like complete transformation. I mean, it's pretty cool. Exterior, you just get more shine. Like this looks like a bomb went off in it, and like we're gonna make it look like it's brand new. Like that's really the cool thing about doing more interiors. And a lot of people, I would say in Michigan, they're not crazy about their exteriors. Like they go through car washes, they're looking for more convenience and cost. They don't think of what they're doing to their paint. Interior, they care more because they're in it constantly. Their kids are in it. So they want to make sure those are clean. I would say our biggest sales pitch that we did, we offered one time to this mom, we'll clean your car seats for free. And she was like, what? Like lost her mind. Like she was so happy. So we steam clean and vacuum car seats so they look immaculate because kids just throw food everywhere. It's just slopped in there. And so after doing that, she told a bunch of her friends, and that was the busiest spring ever. It was amazing. So many car seats being detailed, and it's just a little thing. It's not like it took us a lot to clean them, but they loved it and they appreciated it. That's what really stuck out and made us more of like a preferred choice for detail services in the area, is that we offer car seats included.
Can you talk about when you got like your first employee or first person like help you out? How did you know that you needed an employee?
So I started hiring like, I think we were super dead when we first started, and I was just still learning. And I realized after I did a job for 5 hours, and I was like, I need to hire somebody. And it wasn't even about the cost. It was more of just like that we needed to make sure that I wasn't like killing myself out there, and that the job was getting done efficiently and then also properly. So I hired my friend Dominic. He's also a car fanatic, still works with me to this day. I pay him really well too, and he loves it, and he gets the processes really well. We can kind of do our own thing when we're both cleaning, and we have a lot of fun. So I think that's also a piece of it, is that like I get someone to talk to. Like when you're doing it by yourself, you're kind of bored. I mean, you kind of listen to music or a podcast and it gets like kind of mundane and you just kind of keep doing it. But when you have someone to be like joking around or like pointing the camera at you to do something funny, like it just makes the day go by faster. So I want to hire more. We're going to be hiring another person for the Traverse City unit. That's going to be launched in a couple of weeks. So it's necessary just to make it go faster, less headache on the one employee, and less like physical abuse. I mean, this job, like I said, it puts a lot of like stress on your hands, like your hands get beat up. So we use a lot of gloves, your backs get a little sore. So we want to make sure that people are not pushing themselves to the limit. So having more employees kind of helps that.
How many jobs are you usually doing per weekend?
We average about 4 to 5.
If you could go full time during the week, how many do you think you could do?
To be honest, we're at pretty much full time right now, doing just 2 days a week.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just packed. If we wanted to do full time, yeah, we could probably do 10 jobs a week. That would make us well over what we need to have for like monthly costs. That's why I like it's part-time, but it's not really part-time, that we're doing really well, I would say. And I'm very fortunate that we're doing so well. So like right now we average with those 4 to 5 jobs in a weekend over 2 Gs in 2 days, sometimes even more. So we're averaging per month 4 to 5 because I only work every other weekend.
Oh, okay.
I'm cutting back because it's just been a lot. But before, I mean, we had like $7,000 to $8,000 months just working weekends. I put in like during the week, like with all the like scheduling and communicating with people, making posts, doing website stuff. Like I'm always constantly trying new things. And with my full-time job, I'm working sometimes like 70 hours a week, like it feels like, because I'm like not going to bed until like 10 or 11 at night and then waking up at 5 in the morning to get going again. So that's why I'm working less this year, meaning like we're doing 2 weekends a month instead of 4 weekends a month, because I was missing time with my fiance and my dogs and my family and my friends. So the money is great, but the time is way better. I'd rather have time with them than anything.
How did you get your first client?
I got my first client. It was my sister. Yeah, I reached out to my sister and my other family members and I said, hey, I'm starting a business and here's what I can do. And I'm not, 100% yet. And I had all the stuff and she's like, yeah, let's do it. And I was like $250 for an interior exterior. And I was there for like 7 hours. It took forever because I didn't have the highest quality equipment yet. And I didn't know the process 100% either, like what worked best for each car. That was fun. It was a fun experience. She was very appreciative of it. The car looked good even though it took me forever. And I just kind of learned from that. And then I had another one that was another friend. He even gave me some constructive criticism. He told me about the door jams because I didn't do the door jams on an interior only. I was like, oh my gosh, dude, I'll come back. He's like, no, just remember it for next time. And it made me realize that no matter what you're charging somebody, no matter if you think they're gonna notice it or not, just go that extra step, because if they don't notice it, their friend might notice it, their family member might notice it, and if you know that you didn't do it, then it's just gonna bother you even more. So I'm all about like finishing the job, no matter how long it takes, no matter how much money we're gonna make or not make from it, because some days I don't make that much money. I'm gonna be real, because I'm like putting so many hours into it. I just want them to be happy with it, is really, because if they're more happy with it, they're my biggest marketers. I could pay hundreds of dollars in marketing, but if my clients aren't happy, then I'm not gonna get new business. I think the big phrase that sticks with me is quality over quantity. Like I'm all about like, look at all that. This is crazy. So much dirt. Clean your door jams, no matter if you go through an automatic car wash or not. This stuff, this built up dirt right here, it ruins your paint. It will make it rust over time. It will ruin your plastics. It will start to rust faster than anything. So take care of your cars, or hire me to take care of your cars. Again, quality over quantity. We're in the business to keeping customers, not making new customers all the time. I really want them to feel appreciated and feel like they're different. They're someone special. They're J Squeaky Clean family. That's what I want. I want people to feel like they are my only concern and my only customer at the time. I don't want to worry about too much other than that.
What was your initial investment to get started?
Oh, I would say 500 to 1,000. I think it went up as I got like more equipment. Like I bought like my setup in the back looks like this now. So this was, yeah. So we have a pressure washer. We have an air hose reel. Always have to be safe. You have to have a fire extinguisher. Fires do happen if things go wrong. It hasn't happened yet, but just in case. Pressure washer hose. So this is alone. This is $1,000. Yeah, right there. This is $300. That's about $329.70. And then the wood and tracks, probably $200. So
when you're doing exteriors, and I'm assuming that's what the hoses are for, are you hooking up to a spigot at the house?
Yep, so we hook up to a spigot at the house. So I bring like an exterior hose that goes through, and this can be shut while we're cleaning. So using the pressure washer, and the hoses are at the bottom so it doesn't affect us. So it can stay closed. And then since I got that generator, I don't have to plug in. So it just stays inside anyways. But I have 50 foot of hose right here. So I can go all the way down there, do the whole exterior of the car, and then reel it back up. This pressure washer is an Active 2.0 is the brand. So it's Active 2.0. Amazing brand. It's a fully electric one. They have gas ones, which again, too loud, can't deal with it. And it's so nasty to smell and toxic. Anyways, so fully electric, but it also kicks out 2000 PSI. So you need about, I would say, don't go above 1800 PSI when you do a pressure washer, but most of them will be about 2000. So you just have to stay a little bit further away from the car, because if you have too much pressure and you're blowing that, it's gonna start to deteriorate the plastics or hurt the paint. Say there's like a paint chip, that water gets underneath at that pressure, you're gonna peel back so much paint, and that's dangerous. So you have to be aware of that. when you're doing this kind of work. It's a great setup, I love it. And then this is a 2-foot long drawer. So I have all my giant jugs in here. Yeah, I haven't figured out what else I want to put in here, but I like it. And then since that's on tracks, I'm gonna put this on tracks in the near future so it can come out. So I think that would look better. And it would just be like less like hitting this, and it would come out about here. So it would look really cool. So that's the next step.
With your sprays or products like that, are you buying them from like a local store? Is there a website online? Like, how do you know where to even buy them?
I always don't use Amazon. Every detailer has like a detail page, and they upcharge you insane. And they direct you to it too. I mean, you see them using it in their videos, and then you'll click on that link, and then you're spending probably 10 to 15% higher than you should pay for that product. And it's not even that company. It's just someone that has extra of it. I go to Detail Image is a really good one, Detail Image. They are a wholesaler. They do a really good job. You can go to Great Lakes Supply, Chemical Supply. It's over in GR somewhere. They have a great storefront, and they also have a lot of like educational pieces too. So if you ever have questions on what to use, you can go in there, whether you're a consumer or a business owner. Great Lakes and Detail Image, that's who I use. I got this thing, dude. It's so sweet. EcoFlow. This thing weighs a ton, first of all. But it's so cool. It's fully electric, and it kicks out like 3,000 watts. So it's got enough juice to last me probably like 5 hours doing a car. So I love it. It's way easier than plugging in to someone's house or running extension cords 6 ways. I love it.
How much did something like that cost?
I think this was $1,500, but it comes with solar panels. So if you're on the go, which I'm always on the go, I can plug in the solar panels. It charges within 20 minutes.
No way.
20 minutes, because I'm like, holy crap. So these things are awesome. I love them. And it makes no noise, it's on. It's fully on right now. It saves me so much headache. So I don't have to worry about the fuses being blown or not having power at someone's house, which has happened. So this gives us a lot more like flexibility to go to other areas that are like apartment complexes, and people are like on the go. Like we did one on the street the other day, just an exterior, and we could wash their car outside. It was pretty cool. And then we didn't have to hook up. We just had to leave it inside.
Do you have any repeat customers? And if so, how often are people getting jobs done?
Yes, I have tons of repeat customers. I tell people they need a detail, I would say quarterly. So 2 to 3 times a year.
Do you have any tips of advice for others that want to get into any type of cleaning service?
Yeah, reach out. Like, I'm all about community. Like, if you want to have a detailing business, or if you want to have a small business and you don't know what you're doing, I've already failed. I've already learned, you know? So reach out to me. Like, I'm all about giving advice that's asked. So, and I'll tell you how it is. Like, it's an amazing feeling to be your own boss, but it's also a huge responsibility. So just go in with humility is really it. Like, you don't have to know everything when you start. There's so many others in the industry that you can ask, and they'll tell you. Ask away, ask as many questions as you want. Talk to people, because they will show you that if you go in by yourself, you're gonna fail. You're gonna lose really quickly, and you're gonna get burnt out, and it's not worth it. I really relied on my buddy Josue. He showed me a lot of great things. I also relied on my fiance. She's a business owner too, and it's a lot of like insecurity you deal with of like, oh, am I good enough, or am I gonna fail? Am I gonna lose everything? Is it gonna grow? And that what if you're by yourself is just gonna keep growing. But if you have support, they're gonna tell you that it's nothing to worry about. Just keep pushing, keep going. It's gonna get better. You can only go up. So that support is really the biggest thing. If you're gonna start a business, make sure you got friends and family that are there to help you, because I wouldn't do it any other way. If I had to do it over again, I would do it with family and friends again and again. I'm very happy with that.